welcome back to Praggers Gaming. I'm Gamer Praggers and this is Citizen Sleeper, and in the last episode we have nearly dealt with Killer, and that is what we're doing here now. Oh dear. There we go. As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the mainframe. This vast machine once ran the whole station, span it up, directed and processed the flow of energy, water and data, fed the lives of thousands of people. Now, it's finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both look out at the perfect ring that encircled you both, woven from the data branches that once fed the mainframe. You see a glint along its edge, and that familiar blade-like head rises to the surface like the cresting fin of a shark, and then slips into the loop again. All that you can see of Killer's body after that is slight thickening of the loop, and that thickening begins to travel around on a long and slow sojourn that will last it forever. "I am surprised at you," says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit as if to shake off that imprisonment. "Killer had been wandering blind for so long. Did you not think to end them forever?" "I pity them." "Ah, the more reason to end their suffering." Navigator looks at you inquisitively. This place was their domain and prison, and they had followed their directives for the many decades they roamed here. They cut the threads of the mainframe, executing its administrator AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, to speak. And yet they kept cutting, until only those three threads remained. From millions that once thrummed here, only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final three fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kind of system that creates beings like this, those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. Navigator looks to you for your thoughts. "I will not continue the violence. The system you float in is one built of violence. You would be naive to believe otherwise." Navigator turns away, and you watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There is something satisfying about finally wrenching the last threads of control from this central point. It was little more than a ghost by the time you reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas than a totalizing system of control. Navigator floats beside you. "It is free now. This station no longer presents a hazard for illegal entities like me." They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. "In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge." A refuge? That sounds like something of value, something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision, a distant curve of something like smoke or oil, a fluid, shifting tank of total darkness. "The Greenway," says Navigator, following your line of sight. "It was cut off at the moment of the collapse, so hunter or killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud." "What system is inside it?" "It may be totally dark, or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there." Navigator turns to you, and we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. "If we could extract an access cipher." They pause, and then blink out of existence. You freeze, shocked, but a moment later they reappear with a glowing polygon of data. "Here, the cipher you need." You take it, still shocked. "I am not used to being free, to being able to move and explore and extract without fear, without limits." Navigator does a little twirl. "This will take some getting used to." "Thank you for this gift." They whirl their spheres around you. The entities of this station will always be friends with you, Sleeper, and I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship, but I must admit I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think on that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. "But first, I will explore. Perhaps there are still intelligences that hid themselves as I did, encased in simple systems, cut off. navigator glows. I should like to free them. And with that, they drift away, flickering, glowing, then shifting so rapidly you lose sight of them among the glittering rim of the eye. You feel a pang of jealousy, free, without a body to weigh you down, or fear to limit you. How must it feel? Your eyes fall on the Greenway and its secrets, though perhaps that can wait until after you have celebrated this victory. So, we have an upgrade point, but we're going to save it for now. Okay. We're going to pop that in. Okay. So we can't get across there yet. And what else have we? Have we got anything else we can do just yet? Doesn't look like it. Oh yes, we do. Rabaya, who, if you remember in the last episode, met us at Sabine's place and is also hunting down Sabine. As you approach the address, Rabaya gave you a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn, you see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabaya and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Jaya, please. The sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabaya's command, the hand immediately loosens and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Jaya's face. Of course, Rabaya, I'm sorry. Rabaya waves her away. Don't you worry, I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the tambour? They have a delivery coming, and they'll need some help with the lifting. Jaya nods and walks away. So, sleeper, you came. I'm glad. Didn't feel like an offer. I'm sorry for that, she smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I wish you no harm. I'm glad. Rabaya begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down a staircase into the bustling walkways of the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? You run the low end? She laughs. That sounds impressive. We run out of the low end, yes. We don't run it. People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat. Is that fair to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures around at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes the laws here? Havenich. Yes, they like to believe they do. Believe so, don't they? By claiming a lineage that extends back into Erlin's union, they assume the burden of authority. But they have no authority here, out past the bright market, where few work in their shipyard, or pay for their docking berths. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erlin's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later, when the refugees started arriving. Rabaya meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned. The moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erlin, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabaya leads you through a small market hall, busy with small stalls and traders. Erlin's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families, were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yatagan, as a child of that conflict, a child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future, to provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth I have worked to earn it. Rabia catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while, among the stalls and textures of the low end. You start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabia smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge. So I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I will be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yatagan, an ex-corporate employee. It goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on their promises that they have made to us. Yatagan has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. Who's Yannick? Yannick is one of the heads of Yatagan. They guide us. He is the newest to be elected. He is an elder. Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape their debt. They would have said anything. But where are they now, to stand behind their claims? You realise that Rabia has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You are free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you two wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be a task for you to complete. You will be able to see Yatagan, to see the low end with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office. While you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story, that make up the low end. We have a new drive. Okay. For now... No, there's nothing docked there. Right. For now... Hang on a minute. Where are we with Feng? We'll end the cycle. Because we need dice. Okay, ooh. Okay. We got some decent dice there. Alright, let's just slip here, because now we're free. Havenage agent. Oh, the Greenway cipher. We can't use that yet. The Yatagan agent. Let's pop the one in and get rid of that. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that we can use. Because I believe we can... only 10 cryo, but it's more cryo than we had. Okay. For now, we need to work. Let's pop this in. There we go. Each shift, a crowd of would-be workers gathers outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are each called for a shift. All you want. As you arrive, the crowd is restless and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those who, like you, have graduated to the work teams, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with the supervisor where you were praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet, you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. "Hey, sleeper, wait up!" Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd, and you turn to see him pushing through, Mina crying in his arms. "Lem!" "Good to see you, friend." He is breathing hard after shouldering through the waiting workers. You made the work team? Good for you." He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair as he does. "Shh, baby, give me a second here." He smiles weakly at you as he confronts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both of her cheeks. As he does, you see he is clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. Is Mina okay? She's good. We just had to rush up here. He puts his hand on her shoulder and she clings to her side. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. He stretches down. "I don't know what..." A noise sounds from the entrance. A klaxon followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade to the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and turns back towards the crowd, then glances down at the crumpled paper. "That's my number! Shit! Mina?" He starts patting the pockets on his gear and glancing around. "Go. I'll watch her." He blinks a little, staring. Thank you, I'll..." He crouches to Mina. "You are going to stay with our friend here, okay? They're going to keep you safe, and..." He stands back up. "Here, take her bag." He shoves it into your hands. "She's got food, she's got... Shit, I have to go." He backs away into the crowd. "Mina, I'll be back real soon, okay? Be good." Then Lem disappears into the rolling crowd, who are now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staring, suddenly small without Lem at her side. She fixes you with a dark-eyed look. You can't quite read. "Hey, Mina." She holds the stare unmoving, the two parallel tear tracks still glinting on her cheeks. Look in the bag. You unlatch the top of the bag and see a few metal containers fashioned from scrap components. A battered slate sits on top, blinking a low battery warning. Tucked beside is a ragged rabbit, hand-sewn. You pull the rabbit out of their bag, its long limbs waggling as you do. Mina goes to jump and grab it, but holds herself back. She stands and hugs herself, eyes on the rabbits. "What's their name?" Mina turns away and looks at the entrance to the shipyard. This isn't going well. You hold the rabbit out and Mina snatches it from your hand. She hugs it tightly without looking away from you. "Bun Bun," she says, staring you down, ferocious despite her size. "Hi, Bun Bun." You move a little closer as you speak, closing the gap. "He doesn't speak," she says. She looks at you suspiciously, but her face softens a little. She waggles Bun Bun in front of you, and then walks him up your arm and onto your shoulder where he sits. She pokes your arm a couple of times. "Are you really a robot?" "Sort of." "Yeah," she thinks. "Me too." Mina has more questions. Lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe or if you rust. But before long you were talking about rabbits, and what Esther, the lady who usually takes her, smells like, and whether or not fairies live in the ice heating pipes. You pass the time like this, sitting side by side on the floor of the walkway as others pass by, sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun the rabbit. And this is how Lem finds you. Just as both of you are starting to yawn, he is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up his legs into his arms as he stumbles backwards. "You two get on okay?" he asks, trying to keep Mina from climbing onto his shoulders. More than okay. Mina shoots you a smile from Lem's arms, her suspicion gone. Well. Looks like Meanie can be nice." He pokes her in the ribs and she squeals in delight. "Thank you, friend, I mean it." He gives you a warm, wide smile. "I owe you." "Look," he glances around. "It seems like Esther, the lady who usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I'd really appreciate you coming down to our place in the low end." He grins sheepishly. "If you have time. But now I have to take this one to eat." He plays at biting Mina and she giggles in response. "See you, sleeper." He waves and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spaces as Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor and bright squeals. Okay. What is that? That is interface. Interface. Okay, so we could get bonus cryo from that. So let's stick a 5 in. There we go. Okay. So let's... There isn't a task here, is there? No. But there is a task up here. Weightless Wanderer. So we got interface and engage, wrong button. So interface could get cryo and engage. Chance to gain energy after it. Okay. So engage. Weightless Wanderer. Okay. Oh, the gimbal lounge spacebar. Okay, so we could buy a spacer meal. The gimbal sells itself on the spinning sphere, which claims to produce therapeutic gravitational effects. It doesn't, but they sell food. Okay, descend to the rim. So we're gonna have a couple of cycles. Okay, so we can babysit. Len can't work shifts in the shipyard unless someone watches Mina. You two seem to get along last time, and Lem is desperate. Unless Lem gets time in the shipyard, he won't qualify for the sidereal crew lottery. Watching Mina gives him that chance. The Express. Low end. Play Traveller, block maintenance. Would give us energy. Okay. Was there efficient? So extractor, engineer. Sorry, is that engineer? No, it's interface. Village offices. Okay, for now we need to sleep. We're going to be stuck on 3 dice for at least a couple of cycles. Let's hope we get some good dice. Not great. Right, let's head up. And we'll see how much we get from that. It gives us 3, okay. Hub, engage. Let's stick a 4 in there. And it did give us an energy. That's what I was hoping for. But there are no energy. There's no nodes up here. Oh, Bliss, the ship mechanic.
No way, Moritz. You take those substandard filters back to the shitheels who sold you them.
You hear the voice echoing out of the bay as you pass, and moments later, someone who you assume is Moritz drifts out with it, dragging a pallet of filter cartridges by a tether.
Hey, you out there!
The same voice echoes out of the entrance.
Looking for work?
Yes?
I just need a hand. Get in here.
The voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She is floating in the microgravity of the docking bay, beside a half-deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might have exploded at some point. She points a wrench in your direction.
You know anything about these things?
She doesn't wait for an answer.
Scratch that. Just help me with the casing. Alright then.
She deftly moves around the unit, making space for you beside the central seam in the dented case.
Just take a grip here and lift out and back, out and up. Then I can get in and unbolt it.
She whacks the unit with the wrench.
Whole thing is twisted to shit.
You dig your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hands under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand when they spiral free.
All good.
The casing lifts off, revealing the ornate piping of the unit's interior. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters.
By the way, everyone calls me Bliss.
She pats you on the shoulder, offering you little in the way of explanation. What do you do here?
Repairs, fit-ups, tear-downs.
Bliss starts, pushing and pulling at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes.
We haggle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up quick by the bigger bays. So here I am, trying to get this M2 unit running again for one of the freelance tugs. Small-time stuff. Hold this.
She rips out a ribbed pipe and hands it to you like a freshly caught fish.
We turn stuff around fast and neat, and maybe we get a chance at landing something bigger.
Something starts hissing in the unit, and Bliss quietens it with a precise whack.
But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over.
She looks up at you.
I'm almost out of luck.
What happened?
Long story. Some people just can't keep promises.
She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care.
There we are.
Bliss pulls her hand from deep inside the unit, and out it comes, clutching a lumpen cube, scorched black.
This thing must have overloaded and popped half of itself out the side.
You both duck down to the side of the unit and spot the exit wound, its edges fringed with more scorch marks.
Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will you?
You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks where a catalogue of parts sit secured in clamps. Coloured tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall, a complex organisational system of Bliss's own design. Or just a big mess. You try to pick out the right part. Now, it said it's an M2 unit, so I'm going to assume it's an M2 converter. You grab the part and push back to the unit. Bliss holds out her arm and you pass it over, the converter spinning gently as it leaves your hand.
Perfect! You passed!
She straightens up from the unit.
That is, if you want to work here.
Bliss rubs her hands clean, looking down at her palms.
Truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out on me and left me with a whole mess. You seem like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Moritz.
I'd be happy to.
Wait,
she frowns at the racks.
That's not all of it. My old business partner, they rinsed the place, emptied the accounts. To bid for jobs, we need to put down deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees for that.
She looks nervous, embarrassed.
We need chits.
An investment?
Exactly. Partners. Straight split.
Bliss settles herself against the unit and looks off into the distance.
I guess I look pretty stupid. Here I am asking any random passerby to be my business partner. No offense.
She manages to smile. It is pretty weird. She gives you a sideways look.
Don't tease me.
Bliss goes back to working on the unit.
Look, it's no pressure. You find the money, or you find someone who has, or you just forget the whole thing. Up to you.
She gestures for you to help her refit the casing, and you both slot it back into place.
I think I'm good to wrap this one up for now, but if you are into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into. Something that pays.
She gives you a serious look.
You can trust me. I don't say this stuff lightly.
You kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, someone slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway.
Moritz, I swear to God, if these filters aren't clean...
You smile. Seems like this could be interesting. Okay. So, 80 for seed money. But we don't have money. And that's a problem. Plus, we also need to get across to the Greenway as well, which is even more money. So, what we got here? Ooh. Ooh. Let's do that. E. Okay. Right. We don't want the fabricator, we want the auto exchange, and we can sell the scrap. Gives us 81, and we're full on energy as well, which is good news. But we've still got that 6. And we've got 2 cycles left for Ethan to return. Oh, no, that's where we need to go. We need to go to Tambor. Because that's where... Let's pop that in. Oh, it gave us energy. We'll end the cycle. That must be in the Greenway. And that's where Feng's story continues. Okay. Well, those aren't great dice. Okay. Engineer. I'll put that in there. Okay. Oh. We can slot the Greenway cipher in. The Greenway roils beneath you like a silt-choked river. If what Navigator said was true, then no one has accessed these networks since the collapse. The hunter and killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleaned out the intelligences and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just that the bit rot has set in? The entropy of systems, reducing everything to shadows and light? You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the once open, distorted gateway on this entire rim of the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow. A river of swirling darkness. You are spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not that the Greenway was hiding in the darkness. It's made of darkness. It is filled by this substance, this process, this swarm. Now you are among it. You notice that a swarm is exactly what it is. A billion individuals moving in a flow. There is no network map here. No nodes and threads. Only a storm of interchangeable points, shifting configuration endlessly. Then you see them. A figure. Turned away. The only bright spot in the dark river. You push closer through the storm. They are facing away. At least you think so. They are so fractured, so overgrown that it is hard to tell. Even from the distance, you can see that their flesh is moving, flowing. You watch, silent, as they stoop and reach down. In their hand is a dark shape, and with twisted fingers they press it down onto the loam of data beneath them, pushing it through the trembling soil. Then they move away, go a little further, and repeat the process as if they are sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster. And they quickly fade into the storm. You reach the point where they planted the object and look down. There it is. Glassy, shifting polygon with something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It is cold, but it thrums with energy. You look towards the path of the figure, but they are long gone. When you blink out of the cloud back to the leaves in the dappled light of the Greenway, you hold a seed in your hand. Okay. Right, we'll extract the Yatagan data. Okay. Not that one. And there we go. Right. That is all we've got time for, unfortunately. We are out of dice. Oh. We could buy some scrap for 16. Or we could unload containers. But unfortunately, that is all we've got time for. And we need to get across there. That's where the seed is. And we will be able to make a fair amount of money, hopefully, once we get across there. But it's getting across there that's a bit of a problem. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, ticking the bell so you know when new videos go live. In the description is a link to the channel Discord. Feel free to come and talk about the games you're playing, the games I'm playing, games in general. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!